Hello viewers and welcome to my channel. Today's interview is going to be performed on me by my guest, and why don't you introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure. Thank you, Eddie. My name is Maria Bueno, and thank you for having me in your show. I mean, I really appreciate you having me here and letting me ask you questions about your stay in my country and in my city.
This is Eddie on the Go.
Again, my name is Maria Bueno. I am Colombian, but I was raised in Florida. And I have a small business, but I guess we can talk about that later on.
Okay.
Okay? So are you ready for my questions?
Yes, I am.
So my questions are going to sound a little bit cliche because obviously, you know, you're visiting my town. So I'm just going to ask you the regular exit questions that I would ask anybody that visits. Let me know. So what was like your first impression when you got out of what was the first impression you got from our city when you got here? Like, right, you got off the airplane. What was like the culture shock? First culture shock thing that...
Hace calor. Very hot.
Yeah, you came in a very, very, like, it's hot everywhere. It's hot everywhere, but it's like, I have a saying. It says, the sun goes out, you know, comes out for everybody, but he stays in Barranquilla, like, the whole entire day. So hot. Okay, so yeah, regularly is the Barranquilla is the eternal summer. Anything about our, you know, on your way from the airport to maybe where you were staying that kind of caught your attention? Did you see something? Well, what was your impression with that?
The ride with Alex was, you know, rough. I mean, the surroundings were rough because, you know, like I was telling my new guest at the place I'm staying, that's just the way it is no matter where you are in the world. Around airports and bus stations and places like that is usually going to be people are poorer, and it's not an affluent area. So you know, the roads accordingly. You know, the roads are always going to be better in a nicer neighborhood.
Yeah, of course.
And then as I got closer to Rio Mar, then, you know, things get nicer and
So your thought was, oh my God, is this how it's going to be like the entire place?
I've been in Latin America before, so I know what to expect. Panama was similar.
Okay, so that's good because most of the guys that I know, the people that come down, that's like very shocking to them, and they're like, what did I get myself into? Like, is this going to change? You know.
Right.
So when I've gotten to ride with them from the airport as their first time, they start like, are we safe? Is this safe? And I say, you're going to stay in a safe place, and I will not let you come back, you know, in this area without, you know, a nice, trusted, you know, person that will guide you or drive you.
Yeah.
Good. So that was like my first question, the cultural shock. But you've been to other Latin American countries, so you kind of knew what to expect. And you're traveled to
developing nations.
Exactly, developing nations.
Third world is an outdated term that I hate hearing.
Yeah.
Colombia is definitely not third world. Third world, if that's still applicable.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's an announcement going on in the mall. If that is, you know, anywhere in the world an applicable term, you could use that in like Afghanistan.
Never comes.
Cut. No. So yeah, I mean, I'm not naive as far as like how the world is. Even in Europe, you're going to find places that are like older and historic, but I like that. I don't like in the United States, you have a lot of, you know, cookie cutter type environments with, you know, commercial buildings and even houses. They're boring. I love Latin America because it's got flavor. You know, Latin American countries, you have older stuff, so I like it for the character. You know, I like it that it's not Los Estados Unidos.
Yes. Yeah, it's different. It's a different scenario. And the thing about this city especially is that it's diverse. You saw like that not so pretty side of Barranquilla, but then you also got to experience what it is to live, in the most affluent
Well,
part of town.
not the most affluent, but close enough.
Okay. So,
Like Rio Mar and Miramar, those are more money, but there it's like an older, nice neighborhood.
yeah, exactly. But where, the club that you go to, Elvis, is in the most
Oh yes,
affluent,
that's what I'm
so
saying. That's Rio Mar, yeah.
That's
Rio
up there.
Mar, it doesn't get much better than that.
Oh yes, it does. There's a
really?
neighborhood called Villa Campestre, and it's also
Oh, I'm
included,
familiar.
So,
Yeah. Oh, that's very
those big houses.
nice.
So yeah, so the weather kind of you are a little familiar with, like surroundings around airports and bus stations and everything. Now, regards of when you got here and you were received by the people, how did the people treat you? How did you feel people treating you?
People are very nice here. That's one of the appeals for me of Barranquilla, is that the people are just very nice, very welcoming, very friendly, quick to help you if you need help. Just the best kind of people,
Okay. So yeah, Barranquilla most of the time it's not too, how can I say, like too crowded with tourists, because this is not a touristic
It's not
city
like
per
Medellin
se.
or
or Cartagena,
Yeah.
which is the beach. But we have our seasons. Some people escape the cold and they come to Barranquilla during the winter seasons up north, and they just love it because they have a chance to escape the cold and escape ice
warm
and
their bones.
warm their bones. And then they also come like for the carnivals. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see the carnivals. It's just once a year.
Yeah.
But now it's 2 times a year, by the way. They're
Oh
having
yes, the
this-
summer. I almost did, but I think wasn't feeling good. I think I had a headache when they did the summer carnival.
Okay, cool. But you would see that if you go to probably a museum or some sort of event, even in weddings, you would see like the music, and you can hear the music, which is called cumbia, or music that is very, very popular during the carnival season. If you go to places like Hotel del Prado, you'll see the masks. So if you miss out on the carnivals, all you need to do is kind of go to some like more specific areas.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube, there you go. Okay, so those were questions that I wanted to ask you. Like, first of all, like, how did you feel when you ride, and the cultural shock? Now, tell me something that you did not like, and you would say, this will be my feedback to the governor or the mayor of the town.
Some of these things that I'm aware of, they don't really affect me, but like I've learned about the Estrato system and how that can be unfair to people, even to the poor, because the supposed intent of this system was to supposedly make things easier on the poor, but I've read, and I think you even agreed with that statement, was that it makes it hard for people to move up out of the poorer neighborhoods because of that system. And then it seems kind of unfair that the electricity rates are it's going to be higher depending on what neighborhood or even the building that a person lives in. So there's things like that. Other than that, I mean, I haven't had a lot of negative experiences here. It's been very nice. I can walk around at night from where I go out. If I know my way home from there, if I'm familiar, like I was telling you, from Barcelona Plaza to walk down that one calle to 79C where I'm staying. It's just, as long as it's a nice windy to take away the humidity, it's a pleasant walk home.
Yes.
And it's safe because it's not hood.
Exactly. So let me give you my take on that. Because you might hear what some people say, but the behind of that is the rich people want to stay isolated from people who probably could be not rich. I mean, that sounds a little bit
right.
petty, but
No, I get
that's
it.
what it is. So they sold the story that in your area, your neighborhood's going to be cheaper. You're not going to pay you're not pay as much money. You're going to pay less. I'm sorry, and that we're just helping you as you don't make enough money to pay for that. But we're actually, what they're doing is keeping you there. They want to keep you there, and also, and this is the sad part, and this is what we've talked about multiple times, is the corruption. So they'll take from the less watch, because the people in a better area are going to pay more taxes and stuff to be safer, to make sure that that they do get what their side of what the government should invest in that area, because they know people, and this is a small town still. It has a lot of people, but it's a big population for such a small city, but still very traditional. Who you are, what your last name is, and who you hang out with. So the idea of all this is, we're helping you. Yes, we're making better options for you. The electricity bill for you is going to be cheaper, but it's to keep you there, because they don't want you.
It's kind of like an element of classism.
Exactly. So that's the sad truth, and that's what it is, and that's my take on it. So what was, you mentioned a lot of places that you went to, so that got me curious. Did you how long were you here, like exactly?
I arrived on June the 10th.
Okay.
And today is September 8th.
Okay, that's roughly what?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, so I heard you going to places, and you moved around from what I can tell. So what was your routine? Did you acquire a routine being here? Is it different from what you do back home? I'm guessing.
Well,
because you're not driving here, but that would be
yeah. Well, I live out in the country at home. I live in farmland, and so I don't really like to walk that much because it's walking through dirt. I like walking on streets, but I have to pretty much walk during certain times of the day based on the humidity and the temperature.
Okay.
But I haven't done it in a few days, but I would have my routine from here where I would, and I've walked in different directions and stuff, and I've become very familiar with the north part of the city. And what I usually would do would walk down, from the end of my school, not the end, to the end of the block, and walk down Calle 79 all the way to where it ends at that park. And I would do laps around the park, and just to get the exercise, keep the heart strong, and get my exercise in.
Get your workout. Get some steps in there. So you did your normal routine from what you do back home did change. You had a change in your routine. You adapted to the city. So how did that day look like? You wake up earlier. You wake up. Were you staying out at night? Did you see it more like a vacation? Were you? What really changed? I always ask this, did you drink more here? Did you sleep more here? Did you eat more while you were here? What was it?
Actually eating less, and I've lost quite a bit of weight. I don't have access to a scale, so I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm in the upper 70s, where I was closer to 200 pounds when I left. But it's the food is cleaner here. It's not full of chemicals and sprayed with chemicals and antibiotics and all that kind of stuff, like chickens. I learned that from Life with David Martinez. And he had a guest who was also from the United States, a Hispanic Latino guy, and he talked about how fast the weight falls off. The chickens are the normal size they're supposed to be, not pumped up and inflated and everything. So I would say that I eat less, because maybe back home I might eat out of boredom at times. Drinking, I probably drink a little bit less than average at home. I don't know, maybe not. But here I have, the video work to do, which if I'm not traveling, I'm not really doing it that much, because I'm doing more of the podcasts that my friend and I do. So that's the content creation is different. But I've tried to make it more like the whole trip, more like if I was living here as a local and doing my work thing, and still throwing in, obviously, because I'm a content creator, throwing in some touristic type stuff, showing what I like to do is let my viewers see how the people are, how the cuisine is, things like that, the local attractions. Because, some people, I get this feedback from Americans that I know or are acquainted with, that they think they watch too much TV and think it's, still the days of Pablo Escobar, where I want people to see how nice the people are here, how it's relatively a safe country, because you can go places even in my hometown that are dangerous because you have all the zombies from drugs that are everywhere in the country. And so I'm just trying to use that as to educate, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. People here appreciate that I'm showing their homeland and their town in a positive light.
And as you're saying this, I'm thinking, oh, that's so nice, and I want to thank you, because, that's what people think. I mean, there's a big gap between Medellin and Barranquilla.
Yeah.
Barranquilla is still laid back, still very, and we didn't have that, we were still very small when Pablo Escobar, and people weren't as, as luxurious. And the luxurious part of living was kept for a certain amount of people. So Barranquilla was still very laid back and very easygoing and very safe back when Pablo Escobar. They had some things here and there. There were cartels, like minor chapters of the cartels and everything, but it wasn't something that was displayed. So there's a big difference. There's a huge difference. Barranquilla is growing, but people keep a lot to themselves. I don't know if you noticed. People rather go out with friends and family.
Oh, that's what
they'll take family over friends sometimes.
But I've heard that about other parts of the country as well. I think it's just a cultural thing, because it's like they feel protected when they're around their family, as opposed to opening themselves up too easily to strangers. And just like even you, it's just a smart thing to get to know somebody better before you let them too close.
Yes, of course. It's a way of doing it.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, going back to your routine, I wanted to add that the thing is, portions of food here are smaller.
Oh, yeah.
Portions of food here are smaller.
Almost always.
Go to a restaurant. I mean, McDonald's, if you've been to a McDonald's, I love McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Colombian food, but I love McDonald's. That's the one thing. But the portions are really small compared to
a better example, and you're probably not familiar with it because it's a restaurant chain out of Washington, Seattle, or somewhere in that area. It's called Red Robin.
Red Robin, yes.
And they have so they have bottomless fries. You can,
literally have everything. Okay,
but you go to Big Bites or anywhere like that here, the burger restaurants, very nice, very, very good artisanal burgers.
Yes.
Very creative food sometimes. But the fries, there aren't that many fries. It would maybe fill up a small bag for the, what do you call it, the kiddie menu at McDonald's.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was my point. I chose McDonald's because it's like, who doesn't have McDonald's? But to be honest, just the size portions are very smaller. So even the pizza, I went to Domino's Pizza here about a month ago, and I was complaining. I'm like, dude, this is not a large pizza. This is like a medium pizza, and it's not only that the pizza in the U.S. is bigger than here. It's also the economy. The economy is hitting us harder.
They're trying to make a profit just so they can stay in business.
Exactly, because if you notice, it's not cheap. I mean, it's not cheap. If you go out to eat, it's not cheap.
And I did a calculation of because that one guy that picked me up at Viva the night that we were here together, and you had business to do.
Right.
The poor guy,